Just, hold on, sending you another picture, because then there's white stuff to the right. He said it was something that was above the door.
Because they kept on saying, hold off, hold off, hold off. And then we said, what's all that smoke? You know? And we noticed the smoke coming in the sky.
We could see it through our windows of the plane.
And then someone posted it from another airplane on Instagram. So we saw it. It was pretty
we saw it
crazy.
online. People started checking their phones.
Yep.
And
Everybody's
the news
looking
was
at their
starting
phones.
to cover it.
Yep.
So. Now, how long? You said you guys had boarded your plane already?
Yeah, we were in the runway.
Yeah, we had just pulled away from the gate on the tarmac, and obviously there was a ground stoppage, airport shut down. We were notified by the pilot. He was great, actually, in terms of communicating to us. And then he just said we have to wait a period of time, and they were going to deplane, pull back into the gate, and get off the plane.
How long did you sit on the tarmac for, or on the plane?
Hour and a half.
Hour and a half, 90 minutes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, it wasn't too bad, but Delta was
The
very,
people were great, though.
very accommodating, keeping us, up to date as they got information.
Yep.
So it worked out well.
Oh, crazy.
Yeah, no, just hoping that, there weren't many people on that plane, and hopefully, everyone got off. I don't know. It didn't look good from some of the video we saw.
It's a really large aircraft, so we were told
didn't look good from the video, but
yeah, that was
not good.
Yeah, we found this. It fell out of the sky when we was I was working on a car, and that's when we found out the crash. And then my son was like, "Hey, look in the sky," and it was coming down out of the sky, and he picked it up.
Was this the only thing that was coming out of the sky at the time?
And it's little debris and stuff, like little white pieces of probably the plane. But yeah, there's definitely debris all through here, probably within 10 miles. Oh man, I'm just hoping everybody made it out of it. We know there was injuries, but they ain't said there was no fatalities yet, so just hopefully and pray to God that there ain't no fatalities.
We'll get more information on the numbers of fatalities. We'll get more information on the number of injuries. Know that information is fluid. I would tell you, after the tornado in Mayfield, I was standing outside of a factory where I was sure 100 people were dead. And we ended up only losing 13, and that's a lot of people. But pray. It works. It helps. Let's pray that the number of Kentuckians or any other folks that we lost stays as low as possible.
My heart goes out to everybody at UPS, because this is a UPS town. My cousin's a UPS pilot. My aide's tennis partner is a UPS pilot. The intern in my office works overnight at UPS to pay for college. We all know somebody who works at UPS, and they're all texting their friends, their family, trying to make sure everyone is safe. Sadly, some of those texts are probably going to go unanswered. My heart goes out to those families and those friends.
Do not go to the crash site. You will put people in danger. You will put yourself in danger. There may be people that still need to be rescued. Do not be the reason that the first responders cannot get to them. There are still dangerous things that are flammable, that are potentially explosive at the site. Anybody who has seen the images and the video know how violent this crash is. And there are a lot of families that are going to be waiting and wondering for a period of time. We're going to try to get them that information as fast as we can, but if this is a family you know, please give them your support. Please give them your prayers. Please give them your love and be with them, because the toughest moments, and I can say it from personal experience, are when you're wondering whether that person that you know and you care about has survived something like this. Right now, we believe that the main area hit consisted of 2 businesses, though we know there were more businesses impacted. The first is Kentucky Petroleum Recycling. We are seeking more information, but it looks like they were hit pretty directly. The second is Grade A Auto Parts. Grade A has been in contact. They've accounted for all of their employees but 2, but they do not know how many other individuals, customers, or others could have been on site at the time. Because of the nature of these facilities, it may be some time before we can account for everyone or know that no one else was on the grounds. At this time, we've got some initial numbers, but let me tell you, I expect them to grow. Right now, we believe we have at least 3 fatalities. So I believe that number is going to get larger. We have at least 11 injuries, some of them very significant, that are being treated by local hospitals. Again, I think that number will get larger. I can confirm that there was no specifically hazardous cargo on board of the plane that would create an environmental issue for those around the site, but the impact and where it impacted could create those types of situations. So please, if there is a shelter in place, follow it. At approximately 5:14 p.m. Eastern Time tonight, UPS Flight 2976 from Louisville, Kentucky to Honolulu, Hawaii, an MD-11 with 3 crew members on board, was involved in a catastrophic crash here in Louisville adjacent to our airport. UPS will be releasing more facts as available. The National Transportation Safety Board will be in charge of the investigation and will be on the scene shortly. They will be the primary source of the investigation as it continues in the days and in the weeks ahead.
Tonight, as we simply ask for prayers and support for those who have been directly impacted by it and their families. There may be other things that they can be helpful on in the coming days, and we'll make folks aware of that. But we've just seen over the past week the outpouring of support in our community when we ask to help others who are having challenging times. You've seen that over the past week as people came together to donate to area food banks, to donate food to individuals that are going hungry, that are losing their SNAP benefits. I'm confident that once again in this tragedy, Louisville will come together, Louisville will show up and be there to support our fellow residents who are struggling at this time. This is an incredibly difficult day for so many people, for our entire city. And once again, we'll be praying and sending our love and doing everything we can to support the families, the friends, everyone who has been impacted this. We'll be lighting the Big 4 Bridge yellow in honor of the victims of the crash. And we ask that everyone continue to keep them in your mind and your prayers this evening. We ask that nobody touch any debris if there is debris from this crash on your property, but you register that online just as we do after other large incidents so that we can track that and come out. There were 3 crew members on the plane. The 4 that we have confirmed dead are not on the plane. Again, we believe it will be 7 that we're aware of at this time. And as you heard from Chief O'Neill, there'll be others that are searching there. So that is consistent with what we believe. We're waiting to get final word that next of kin have been notified, but we wanted to get information out as soon as we possibly could.
Is there a certain number of missing that you have?
Here at the airport at this time, runway 1129 is open, and all departing flights have been canceled for tonight. We're asking anyone who is traveling out of SDF Airport tonight and tomorrow, they should contact their airline for flight status. At 5:15, Louisville Airport Dispatch, an Alert 3 call regarding UPS flight number 2976, an MD-11 cargo plane that took off en route to Honolulu, Hawaii. Flight 2976 had a total number of 3 souls on board. Flight 2976 departed runway 17 right and went down 3 miles south of the airfield. I can confirm a total number of 4 fatalities and 11 injured that were transported to local hospitals at this time.
We said, what's all that smoke? And we noticed the smoke coming in the sky.
We could see it through our windows of the plane.
Officials report multiple casualties after a cargo plane crashed near Louisville Muhammad Ali International Airport yesterday evening. They say it went down shortly after takeoff, leaving a fiery trail of destruction through businesses and roads. Officials say 3 crew members were on board and at least 4 others died on the ground.
This is an incredibly difficult day for so many people, for our entire city. And once again, we'll be praying and doing everything we can to support the families, the friends, everyone who has been impacted this.
Officials say the aircraft is an MD-11 freight plane owned by UPS.
UPS asked me to convey the same message this evening. They are going to be doing everything they can to support those that have been impacted by this horrible tragedy.
The fire department chief says hundreds of firefighters worked to contain the blaze, which had spread over a large area. The mayor says the airport is expected to reopen today.
In this tragedy, Louisville will come together. Louisville will show up and be there to support our fellow residents who are struggling at this time.
I'm Mimi Kiley reporting.
History has a fatal flaw. Voters get to pick their representatives, not the other way around.
7 minutes past the hour. In other news this morning, we are following that deadly plane crash that happened in Louisville, Kentucky. A live look behind me this morning. The airport now has reopened. It did just about an hour or so ago. The location of where 7 people died, 11 others hurt after that UPS cargo plane crashed seconds after takeoff. Take a look at this incredible video right here. There were very many different vantage points, several security cameras that captured the fireball of flames after the plane, fully loaded with fuel, took off and then went down. Here is the latest from investigators at this hour. UPS flight 2976 had just taken off from the Louisville International Airport when something went wrong and crashed into the Kentucky Petroleum Recycling Building. 3 people were on board that cargo plane when it went down, killing all of them and 4 others on the ground. Fire crews worked well into the night to try and get things under control. Explosions and others were reported. Fires just like this nearby. Fortunately, things now are under control there.
Shocked. That's the only thing I can think of. This is out of 14 years I've worked here, I've never seen anything like this at all in Louisville at all. This is basically, I have no loss for words to say anything at all. Like, this is, like, what can you do?
And there have been some questions about the plane and what it was used for. It was a cargo plane. According to flight radar, this is where it looked like right here. An MD-11, an older plane, 34 years old. These are often recognized by that big third jet on the tail and the back of the plane. Reaction on social media pouring in this morning. Governor Andy Beshear posting, please pray for the families affected. Also hearing from Senator Rand Paul about the crash as well, saying my team and I are closely monitoring the plane crash near Louisville Airport. So that is just a few of the reaction posts that we're getting here. The jet was absolutely fueled to the max, headed to Honolulu. That's a 4,000-mile journey, more than 9 hours in the air. Monitoring this investigation as the NTSB now is involved.
I have to turn to some breaking news right now. Sources tell CNN that a UPS plane crashed near the Louisville, Kentucky airport this evening. There is a massive plume of black smoke and fire rising not far from the tarmac. This information is just coming in. Let's turn now to CNN's Pete Montine, who's in the newsroom. Pete, what do we know right now?
Well, the images are sad and they're sobering, Jake. We've just confirmed from the Federal Aviation Administration that UPS Flight 2976 crashed shortly after takeoff from the Louisville Airport, the Muhammad Ali International Airport. That is the main hub for UPS. It's known as Worldport. This plane, an MD-11F, that's a tri-jet, a wide-body airliner, 3 engines, not a small airplane. When they were in passenger service, though no airlines use them anymore, they could hold anywhere between 270 and up to 400 people. You can see the images that show exactly why the fire department in the area has put in place a shelter-in-place order near the Louisville airport. Initial reports said the shelter-in-place was for a 5-mile radius. Investigators really now have their work cut out for them because it does not seem like the images show any apparent parts of airplane. It seems like the National Transportation Safety Board will launch to this investigation. The Federal Aviation Administration also investigating. This flight was bound for Honolulu. This is a large cargo airplane, not a small aircraft. As we are just getting in new details, this is developing all the time. It has been a tough year for aviation. Not only are there are the incidents right now with air traffic controller staffing shortages around the country. There was the mid-air collision over the Potomac River back in January. And now this. Friends I've been talking to, sources say this is so hard to see, and the images popping up online. So a very sobering struggle for this plane to get into the air right on takeoff from Louisville Muhammad Ali International Airport. Very, very sad story developing right now.
Very sad indeed. Pete Montine, thanks so much. We're going to keep following the story.
Quint 66, engine 78, engine 178, engine 81, Quint 76, battalion 76, responding possible explosion, Fern Valley and Great Lane, 1715.
Towering flames and black smoke near Louisville, Kentucky's Muhammad Ali International Airport when a UPS plane crashed just after takeoff. According to a statement from the Federal Aviation Administration, Flight 2976 went down just after 5 p.m. local time and was headed to Honolulu.
Flight 2976 departed runway 17 right and went down 3 miles south of the airfield.
3 crew members were on the plane, according to a statement from UPS.
We all know somebody who works at UPS, and they're all texting their friends, their family, trying to make sure everyone is safe. Sadly, some of those texts are probably going to go unanswered.
Anybody who has seen the images and the video know how violent this crash is. And there are a lot of families that are going to be waiting and wondering for a period of time.
How many structures are involved?
Video shows flames in an auto recycling yard and semi-truck lot in an industrial area nearby. One witness says he saw debris flying from the sky.
Little white pieces of part of the plane. But yeah, there's definitely debris all through here.
The FAA and the National Transportation Safety Board are now investigating. I'm Sherelle Hubbard reporting. Towering flames and black smoke near Louisville, Kentucky's Muhammad Ali International Airport when a UPS plane crashed just after takeoff. According to a statement from the Federal Aviation Administration, Flight 2976 went down just after 5 p.m. local time and was headed to Honolulu. Videos from the scene show a massive plume of black smoke rising not far from the tarmac. Another video shows flames in an auto recycling yard and semi-truck lot in an industrial area nearby. One witness says he saw debris flying from the sky.
Little debris and stuff, like little white pieces of part of the plane. But yeah, there's definitely debris all through here.
3 crew members were on the plane, according to a statement from UPS. By late evening, Louisville Mayor Craig Greenbrier said, quote, "We have every emergency agency responding to the scene. There are multiple injuries and the fire is still burning."
Anybody who has seen the images and the video know how violent this crash is. And there are a lot of families that are going to be waiting and wondering for a period of time.
The plane involved in the crash, an MD-11, was carrying 280,000 gallons of fuel, according to Louisville's mayor.
Oh man, I'm just hoping everybody made it out of it.
I'm Sherelle Hubbard reporting.
I'm declaring a state of emergency to help us deal with this plane crash. It allows us to move resources more quickly through emergency management and the Kentucky National Guard. It allows state resources to be used also through our agencies to be readily available, including disaster resource management, expenses related to response, and more, as well as reimbursement. 2 businesses were directly impacted: Kentucky Petroleum Recycling and Grade A Auto Parts. Thankfully, a local restaurant that is right there that we had great concern would be impacted and we would lose whoever was in it, was missed and now is helping the search and rescue. We're grateful for them. Another blessing is this plane could have potentially hit the major Ford factory or the convention center. Those are all close by and did not. Well, it was a big night for Democratic governors. We went 2 for 2, showing that the DGA is primed to come into next year when we have 36 races and change the map. Thankfully, we had 2 incredible candidates, and that's where you always ought to start. Abigail Spanberger and Mikey Sherrill worked hard, and they knew what the American people are so focused on, their everyday challenges. You heard them talk about people's jobs and whether they could afford what they needed. You heard them talk about people's next doctor's appointment, the roads and bridges they drive, the school they drop their kids off at, and whether they feel safe in their communities. What you saw were 2 candidates that are ready not just to win an election, but to govern, because when Democrats win these races, we do what Republicans can't. We govern well. I think what we're seeing is it's less about what people call themselves and more about what they're focused on. The winner there in the New York mayor's race was unquestionably more focused on people's struggles, on the inability to afford housing, on the inability to pay the bills at the end of the week and at the end of the month. And I think people are less focused right now on even the policy proposals, but what they want is someone committed to trying to address it. And I think you see that across all the races, and that should be a wake-up call, not just to Democrats, but to everybody. You know, people are concerned the American dream is slipping away, and that's a huge threat to the country. You know, we have to believe that if we work hard and we play by the rules, we can get ahead. But I think the people turning out to vote are saying, wait a minute, I'm doing that, and I still can't afford a home or an apartment at the same age that my parents could. I'm worried that the next prescription that I or my children need will put me under. I think that's where the American people are, and there's lots of different ways to speak to that. But now all the winners from last night need to do what Democratic governors do, and that's govern well and get results. Running and winning is great, but we've got to deliver for the American people. Thanks for your thoughts. Well, we do think it's going to grow, sadly, but the search and rescue mission went through the night, has been able to intensify today. So hopefully it won't grow by much. We also have 2 individuals in critical care at U of L Hospital. We're praying for them and for their recovery. It's hard to lose 9+ people in such a violent way. But let me tell you, this plane barely missed a restaurant bar. It was very close to a very large Ford plant with hundreds, if not 1,000+ workers. It was very close to our convention center that's having a big livestock show that people were arriving for. So really tough, but recognize it could be worse. Well, it's a huge amount of damage in about a city block, about a mile. Think about the plane loaded with 38,000 gallons of air fuel hitting a petroleum, not refinery, but recycler, which also added to the challenges, and then a auto parts lot. And so what we saw is not just the direct impact and explosion of the plane, but everything that then occurred on the ground. Thankfully, there wasn't any significant hazardous material inside the plane. The air quality conditions are improving significantly. We now have a shelter in place only around a very small area. We're monitoring water because of the jet fuel, but the area that we're concerned about is smaller than originally anticipated. And then we've just got so many incredible first responders on the scene from dozens of different agencies that do such a great job. So we are very quickly getting a hold of the environmental search and rescue and other challenges we face. And we'll probably have some pretty close to final information mid-afternoon.
I can now confirm we have found 9 victims of the crash. Again, we expect that number will continue to rise, but 9 victims have been found so far that have died as a result of this horrible tragedy. The latest of about 2 minutes ago is I can now confirm we have found 9 victims of the crash. Again, we expect that number will continue to rise, but 9 victims have been found so far that have died as a result of this horrible tragedy. We have first responders are on the scene now that it's daylight again. The coroner has been working through the night and is there. NTSB will be arriving shortly in Louisville. So we have reduced, we had a larger shelter in place warning last night. It started large. We continued to shrink it through the evening. It's now down to a quarter-mile radius around the crash site. We're doing lots of air monitoring, and we'll continue to shrink that as it becomes safe for people to be outdoors. Additionally, the airport has reopened. So there is a runway, not the runway that the plane took off from, the UPS plane, but the airport has reopened this morning, and so flights will be resuming. Not yet. I don't have any information on the cause yet. I was in touch with NTSB officials last night, have already been this morning. They're on their way here. And so as soon as they land, I'll be meeting them and look forward to learning more. My guess is it takes a while for them to do that investigation. And we, of course, want accurate information. And that's what will be on the scene here working towards. Well, I've been praying for everybody that's part of the UPS family. UPS is such an important part of our city. There are 20,000+ employees that call Louisville home. their involvement in all aspects of the community. This is a tragedy for the victims that we've lost. It's a horrible event for everyone that's part of the UPS family in our entire city. So I've been speaking with UPS officials. They are heartbroken. They are going to be supporting all of the victims and their families. They're going to be cooperating fully with the investigation. They will be doing everything they can as a result of this tragedy that occurred. But UPS is so important to us in so many different ways for here in Louisville.
Right now, we are tracking 9 fatalities. I do believe that will grow by at least 1. There were 3 crew members, and we don't have confirmation on them, but if we've seen that video, we know we're very worried about each of those. So that would suggest that there are at least 6 individuals, if not 7, outside of the crew that were impacted. When you look at where the plane hit, thankfully it missed that restaurant. And by the way, they've opened up their restrooms in their facility for first responders. Pretty incredible. After just about having your facility and everybody inside wiped out, that you're now a part of the rescue. So very proud of them. It hit 2 of the lesser populated businesses in the area. It hit the Kentucky Petroleum Recycling, and because of what they have there and the tanks that they have, that made the situation more dangerous. It appears the pressure valves did go off. It did cause, we think, extra smaller explosions, but it appears they may have operated as intended to prevent it from being worse. At different times, first responders did have to take cover because of what they were dealing with, but they were trained and ready and knew what was on site really quickly, really impressive to watch, and I was listening to it in real time. It then hit, I think it's called Grade A Auto Parts, which isn't just a store. It's more of a large lot of cars. I don't know if it's a pick-apart, but it looks like one of the pick-apart yards, at least from overhead. So not as densely populated as a number of the other businesses would be. Now, there are some other, we believe, small businesses there, and there are a number of buildings that were fully destroyed or partially destroyed. Getting in to the blaze quickly was complicated by that, but these groups got in and got control of this much faster than I think most people would have believed was possible. This is very close to the Ford facility. Very close. I was talking with their CEO, who we spoke directly, cares about the people in that facility, and Ford leadership has surged in. I think they'll be fully open by this afternoon, but was being very careful with their people. I mean, the images from just the back of their facility are incredible, and how close it is. The convention center, the livestock show is very close, and so people were coming in. Talked directly to their head of security, who shut down people coming in, got the information out there to take care of folks. Louisville Emergency Management did a really good job, first with the 5-mile radius, but then very quickly being able to see where the smoke was going. And give a smaller radius for that, and now it's down much tighter, and then we are doing water testing right now in and around the area, and everybody can rest assured that we're going to use all the best science for that and be able to tell them when everything is safe.
This morning, families in Louisville, Kentucky, anxiously waiting to learn the fate of their loved ones after this incredibly terrifying video. Yeah, that is a UPS cargo plane crashing just after it took off from the airport there. The plane ripped through multiple businesses, including a waste recycling facility and an auto parts shop, sparking what you see there, that massive explosion. At least 7 people are believed to be dead in that crash, including all 3 crew members on the UPS plane, the others on the ground. A shelter-in-place order has been reduced now from a 5-mile radius where it was initially to now just a 1/4 mile radius surrounding the crash site itself. Joining us now, CNN transportation analyst and former inspector general at the Department of Transportation, Mary Schiavo. I don't think we have seen a picture of a crash quite like this one in a very, very, very long time, if ever. That video just terrifying. We've got some new video now that just came into us that shows one of the plane's engines pretty much intact on the ground. Does that give you some kind of a clue as to what went wrong here?
Yes, and that's a very important video. The NTSB often collects and does collect and asks for videos that anyone might have of accident scenes. And of course, yesterday with all the big fires burning, we couldn't see that detail. But the fact that that engine came off of the plane before the final impact and fireball suggests that whatever initially started that engine failure, probably what's called an uncontained engine failure, where the engine itself starts to disintegrate and spews parts, caused that to detach. The engines are attached with pylons, with structures that hold it on, but something caused that to detach. And of course, after that, there was really not anything that the four pilots could do. So that's a huge clue and does give us, the NTSB, a pretty good idea of what started this all off.
The death toll, the mayor had said that the death toll is now at least 9. There was this mention that you had made of 16 families reported missing. How much further do you fear that this death toll is going to reach?
Well, we do think it's going to grow, sadly, but the search and rescue mission went through the night, has been able to intensify today, so hopefully it won't grow by much. We also have 2 individuals in critical care at U of L Hospital. We're praying for them and for their recovery. It's hard to lose 9+ people in such a violent way. But let me tell you, this plane barely missed a restaurant bar. It was very close to a very large Ford plant with hundreds, if not 1,000+ workers. It was very close to our convention center that's having a big livestock show that people were arriving for. So really tough, but recognize it could be worse.
That just gave me chills thinking about all of the people that were right in the line of this crash. I mean, when you see the debris field and what happened with this plane, it's terrifying. I mean, how much destruction and damage are we talking about here?
Well, it's a huge amount of damage in about a city block, about a mile. Think about the plane loaded with 38,000 gallons of air fuel hitting a petroleum, not refinery, but recycler, which also added to the challenges, and then a auto parts lot. And so what we saw is not just the direct impact and explosion of the plane, but everything that then occurred on the ground. Thankfully, there wasn't any significant hazardous material inside the plane. The air quality conditions are improving significantly. We now have a shelter in place only around a very small area. We're monitoring water because of the jet fuel, but the area that we're concerned about is smaller than originally anticipated. And then we've just got so many incredible first responders on the scene from dozens of different agencies that do such a great job. So we are very quickly getting a hold of the environmental search and rescue and other challenges we face. And we'll probably have some pretty close to final information mid-afternoon.